Greetings, my name is Keith Olander, Dean of Agricultural Studies here at Central Lakes College, and this is the update. These are the items that I'll go through. We're going to talk very quickly through these items as far as the NRCS agreement, the SARE update, field days, curriculum, research, and partnerships. As you can tell, we've got a host of people from administration, our partners, as well as faculty part of that. Just to update you, we do have a signed MOU in Minnesota. We're finalizing an agreement that includes financial support, and Troy Daniels from our state con in NRCS been very supportive. This is meant to augment our work in cover crops and grazing, which was built from SARE and the national agreement. The area of ground that we're doing this on is about 400 acres that we are working with. Byron is just a township name. There are 4 pivots there in which we operate. And just to point out for my next slide, there's a number 7 and a number 9 are the 2 I'm going to focus on, but you can kind of see the size and you can tell the scope of the land, the 400 acres, it takes a fair amount of operations in doing this in terms of planning. Very quickly, you can see the cover crops we did there. We brought cattle in that November timeframe. We did struggle with the moisture. And then of course, as you can tell, we had snow on the ground. Dealing with water in sub-freezing temperatures is challenging for that. But it gives you a perspective of that, as well as here were the numbers of head that we had altogether on that land, and then the amount of forage that we were able to save. On the soil test side, we're using the Haney soil test, which really measures microbial health. And we're looking to expand the number of areas that we do that test. We're looking for a workshop-based curriculum is what we're developing out of that and can be modified for the classroom. It's really focused at farmers, both crop and livestock. How do they work together financially as well as logistically? And of course, how do we train or use that to train NRCS technicians and as well as soil and water conservationists? For our field day, we did 2 specific workshops around cover crops. And in COVID, that's always a challenge as to how we do field days, but we were able to pull that one off. Curriculum-wise at Natural Resources, we're moving more to a project-based learning where we have 1-day combined classes for a lab day in conjunction with NRCS. Local Tech, Candy's been very supportive of this. And of course, she helps determine a location, farm, or what have you, to teach that day. The first year students are all going this way, and we're looking to bring our second year into that. Outside of curriculum, other research we're doing is our soda grown pod, which is an indoor food production container. It's one of 11 in the country. We're very excited about that. And on the right, you can get a feel for what that looks like inside. Camelina and Kir clover, additional cover crops that we're working on. This is a 24-acre plot. You're looking in the aerial view there. Really, then we chopped the corn off last fall, and then we introduced camelina and now have those crops growing within corn soybean rotation. Also in cover crops, we have a soil and water district, conservation district, and East Otter Tail is just 2 of those. But we're doing this variety trials piece as well. Another interesting piece is we're farming one part of our land, this Byron Township again. 10 parts per million is what we're using as the max in terms of what we do agronomically. Different way to look at agriculture. And of course, we're talking about soil pore water versus groundwater. But this is an education piece that we continue to work with the public on. We also did some studies and engaged legislatively to the profitability in irrigation and what that looked like across those 9 counties. We partnered with industry to bring this piece of equipment in. This is an edible bean combine. Pickett is the brand, and it came from Brazil. This is the first of its kind to produce a yield map for edible beans. And so we're very excited to be trialing that now this fall. And finally, we were named Irrigator of the Year in February by the Irrigators Association of Minnesota. So just really excited about that honor. And that concludes our update from Central Lakes College.